are a lot of coyotes in San Francisco and other parts of the Bay Area, and this is the time of year when the new pups are born. We wanted to learn more about this, so joining us live is Tali Caspi, a coyote researcher at UC Davis. Tali, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So what month is coyote birthing season? It's coming up.
It's already here. March, April is kind of when you can expect pups to be born. There's a little bit of sort of variation there, but for some family groups, they might already have pups born, and if not, they're coming soon.
And so these pups, when they're born, they are blind, they're deaf, so their families, their mothers, I would think probably more, are really out there to try to protect them. What should we do if we see a baby coyote pup out there?
Yeah, well, you're probably really unlikely to see a baby coyote pup when they're that small because mom and dad like to keep them really hidden and safe. But if you do see one, the most important thing is don't touch it, don't approach it, don't pick it up. I think a lot of people think that if they see a coyote pup that it's orphaned, but mom and dad are around and taking care of it, just give it space.
So I was reading about this coyote behavior known as escorting. Can you explain what a coyote escort is?
Yeah, absolutely. So these coyotes have their den sites in different parts of the city. And if a person, or especially if a dog, gets a little too close to comfort for that den for the parent, they will engage in a behavior called escorting, where basically the parent or other individual in the family group will sort of follow you. And if there's a dog present, they can sort of bare their teeth or growl, and it can totally be scary if you aren't expecting it or you don't know what it means. Escorting very rarely leads to aggression, and it's not unsafe. It's just mom or dad or a different family member saying, hey, you're too close to my little puppies. So the best thing to do in that scenario is to leave the area. So if you have a dog, make sure that you've got it on a short leash. If it's a small dog, pick it up. Make sure they don't go chasing after the coyotes, and just calmly walk away from the area.
Would a coyote parent become aggressive towards a person or a dog if you did get too close to a pup or a den?
Almost certainly not. I think if a dog is really at the den, you might get a nip, but it's really unlikely for a coyote to chase after a person, even though that escorting behavior can look like they're coming to bite you because it's meant to be scary. They're really just following you off until you're far enough distance away, and then they're going to turn around and leave you alone. But like I said, if your dog is not on a leash and a dog runs towards the animal and gets close to it, that's when there can be this opportunity for a bite.
That's kind of a different story. Is there anything else we need to know about these pups? I know we'll hear them. They're very vocal little babies.
Yeah, they're absolutely vocal, and I think the vocalizations that coyotes use are really complex. They're very social, they're communicating with one another, and it can often sound like there's dozens of coyotes, but there's not. Family group sizes fluctuate throughout the course of the year, but you're not going to have a dozen members in one of these parks in the city. But you will hear those vocalizations as they communicate with one another. As pups get older and start to leave their dens, you might start to see them a little bit more. And that's when, again, more of that conflict can happen, especially if dogs are getting a little too close to those puppies.
Let's just give them a little space. Tali Caspi, a coyote researcher at UC Davis, thank you for joining us. Appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.